Hello and welcome back for Game 2, where Golden Guardians will try their hand at taking down Dignitas. Certainly a big task. Let's take a look at the starting roster. So selecting blue side, it is Dignitas Academy. In the top lane, Lolo. In the jungle, Acadian. Mid lane, DeMonte. Bot, Phoenix. And their support, Ole.
They have looked pretty good so far. Loading up opposite Dignitas is Golden Guardians Academy. We got Zion Spartan in the top lane, Hard in the jungle. Ablaze Olive, who is having a great start to his Academy split. Gorka and Huhi and Bot with Raz and Spooks as the coaches.
And it's not really a surprise, but turns out Dignitas Academy, still a monster.
Yeah, they have been doing rather well. They did almost drop a game, but the question is, can this team go 18-0? Not, can this team be the best team in Academy? Seems to be what's been happening. And DeMonte is a player who was on basically the Dignitas main team last year, if we want to call it that, because they were Digna Clutch for most of it.
Yep.
And he's had a very diverse champion pool so far in Academy, trying to flex as much as possible, trying to be a very diverse player. You can see here 5 unique champions across 7 games, and just one of the many successful players on this Academy team.
He's having fun.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what it's like. DeMonte comes back down, he's like, oh yeah, I remember this. I was good in this league. Turns out, still really good. Yeah. Golden Guardians on the other side, I like what they did with this roster, but they are slipping a little despite some early success, and it does feel like the veterans around the 2 newer players, so Blaze Olive and Gorica, was a good formula, but Gorica's last few games have not been as good as his season openers.
Yeah, I think top lane is a weird place right now. When I look at the things that you can and can't play, I mean, we just saw Nocturne last game beat up on an Aatrox. Do you pick up the Soraka or the Sona? How good were you at set matchups? It hasn't been working out that well for Gorka, and Zion Spartan as well in the top lane. Needs to be able to play those matchups out well. Gorka's been fine.
Yeah, it's just, again, like he was a collegiate player, he was at Scouting Grounds, He was, a promising AD that the coaches that attended that event said he was good at listening and understanding like how to improve, but he's still improving. I think he's certainly one of the players that will get better over time, but his early games maybe looked a little bit better than his actual consistent form.
Yeah, apologies there for Gorka, but on the topic of him and Huhi trying to match up in the bottom lane, Huhi is a player that so many people kind of pointed to at the start of the year, and they said, hey, why are you starting Keith in the bot lane when you have Huhi? Because he was actually their LCS player for a lot of it. And I think he's really just trying to continue to develop in this role swap. So he's been a player who always has really high overall game knowledge in play, and it's a matter of whether he can team up with Gorka to make that work.
Certainly his attitude, even as a mid laner, was one of, I like helping my teammates. He never played solo queue, he only duoed. He was the kind of guy that was always wanting to hang out with his teammates after they were practice. So support suits him and his personality. I mean, you think about his signature Aurelion Sol, and that was basically a champion that enables the other lanes in your game, but still adjusting to the role, but potentially a very strong bot lane, and they are domestic bot lane as well. Huhi is now a resident in this league, so potentially they could be moving around places if they can improve as a duo.
Yeah, trying to move on to that. Looking at who they're facing, though, it's another role swap bottom lane.
Yes.
With Phoenix, who has been doing really well as an AD carry. He's always been a high mechanics player, so it kind of makes a little bit more sense for him to swap down to be an AD carry. You can see Ole rushing back to stage to hopefully get us into Champion Select as soon as possible. But yeah, I was going through some stats for these teams, and it's actually Lorlo on the Dig Academy team who has the highest KDA, surprisingly. And, as I was mentioning earlier, how top lane is kind of this dangerous play. Lorlo's only died 5 times all year in the Academy in 7 games, which is shockingly low for a top laner so far. So shout out to him.
I wonder who's died the most on their team. I'm going to bet it's Acadian.
The most deaths on Dig Academy is DeMonte.
At 13. That's my other guess. It's one of those 2 for sure.
You play 5 different champions, it's going to happen. Yeah, it's usually going to be a jungler or a support who has the most deaths. It's a little bit more rare. It's actually very rare that it's the mid laner, but 13 deaths is also not that many across 7 games, so I think that's why you can have some of those statistical oddities.
Yes, again, Dignitas been very good. So their stats are going to be pretty inflated across the league, given how well they've performed so far. Big test for Golden Guardians Academy here. Again, looked good in the early games, have slumped in their last few games, but no one has beaten Dig just yet. You always want to be the first team to beat the best team.
Yeah.
Big boost.
Yeah, I mean, after the first game that they played on stage, Acadian had an interview and they were like, so can anyone beat you? That was the question immediately, because you look at this roster and you think, hey, wait a minute. All of these players have been in the LCS, and like not just in the LCS. Acadian was in finals last split. Like Phoenix has been on at times the best regular season team when he was a mid laner on Team Liquid. Ole's been to MSI and Worlds. Demonte was at Worlds last year. Like it wasn't just LCS players. It was like, hey, these are good LCS players. Like these could be a big roster. So Dignitas kind of has this embarrassment of riches in terms of talent on their team so far. But Acadian did mention that like we drop scrims. Like I don't. It's not doesn't need to be a goal for us to go completely undefeated in this split. It might happen. But that's kind of not where their minds are at. Their minds are at just looking as good as possible and being the best players they can be so they can make their way back to the LCS.
Definitely curious to see that mid lane matchup, though. I think Demonte kind of defaulted back to being the best mid laner in the league since rejoining. But Blaze Olive, at least in the summer TSM 1, when he was back on TSM Academy, he was the best mid laner in the league at that time. And that was with Golden Goose still there in the conversation. So a player that is, started kind of slow, has looked better and better, won an Academy championship, and is continuing to grow strength as a player. And he's like, he's like year 2 now, starting to make a case for himself as like, I should be a consideration as an LCS starter. He's not there yet. He's still growing, but a good showing against a very recently LCS mid laner will certainly help you out.
Yeah, I mean, he does 35% of the team's damage.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. The standard for a mid laner is a little bit below 30% for those of you who want context on the stat. So Blaze Olive definitely pulling his weight and then some as we get the Soraka ban.
Solo lane is banned everywhere. Lucian, Soraka, and Syndra, the first 3 here. Let's see what Golden Guardians have lined up for their second ban here. It is Set. Champion that's also continuing to be moved from high priority pick to just straight up banned. Although also the first Set game I saw was him playing Set, and he did look quite good. Olaf also going to be the ban away from Hard, kind of interestingly. Olaf has also clearly been picking up presence in 10.3.
Yeah. I wonder if we're going to see Karthus. I'm waiting for it on 10-3. Especially with Olaf gone, there will be no one who can keep pace with his farming. Ooh, and the Elise ban comes through, so one of the early things that'll kill a Karthus could be gone.
Fnatic didn't play it yesterday.
I don't think it'll be a first pick, but...
Oh, no. But certainly some teams are playing it, also giving Rumble to Dignitas.
Spooky.
Very spooky. Rumble's still very powerful, and that will be the first pick after the Elise ban. So let's see how Golden Guardians responds here. Demonte has certainly already shown his proficiency on Rumble, and Rumble is just so good with pushing the lane and team fighting, which is all you can really ask for from a mid laner.
Yeah. Good old Raz on the stage as well, former LPL caster, now coach of Golden Guardians Academy. Did they? Okay. I had a weird angle on my monitor. I'm like,
You thought
did they
Nivea
just
looked
block
good?
a Nivea really quickly?
Blazer was like, I figured out the counter. Give me the bird.
You could honestly put that Ornn mid.
Yep.
If you wanted to, but it's going to be flexible.
I do like that Ornn is flexible. I mean, we've seen it support. I think we've seen it bot lane. Recently, support historically.
Yeah, in
Rumble
Academy.
Solo queue.
In Academy, there was the Ornn Senna lane.
Yes.
It didn't win.
It did not.
But it did happen.
It did.
Yeah.
Sejuani Aatrox looks like it's really, that topside is really strong on the Dig side. So they're just picking the good champs, giving them to their good players. Generally a system that can work. Curious to see if Blaze Olive does have a counter pick lined up here. Clearly giving away Rumble, expecting it to be mid in almost every case. But he'll have to save that for now, as Yuumi will be the final lock-in here for Golden Guardians. So assembling on Yuumi, something that is starting to become, in my opinion, a very strong core of champions you can bring.
Yeah, I think so, because it's just even more of a scaling advantage once you get to the Ornn item upgrades. It's pretty scary to do it against Dignitas, though.
Yes.
Especially when they already have pretty strong mid-game spiking champions in the Rumble and the Aatrox. So this is gonna be really interesting as his draft completes, because Ezreal's banned, so getting a really safe AD carry for Gorka is difficult. And there's just the Nautilus ban, so you're gonna be going up against like Leona MF or something that's gonna have a Sejuani and Rumble going in to dive that bottom lane, and I don't know how you protect that.
Yeah.
We'll see though.
Freljos is going to be the pick, so that will join the Yuumi for Huhi, and they are continuing to save this counter pick for Blaze Olive.
I think this is Leona MF. because they can. That's just an incredibly strong 2v2, and it's how you try and punish the Yuumi early. But we'll see. Ole, the thresh ban is because he's so good at hook supports. Like maybe he just throws a curveball and tries to play Morgana or something. But yeah, Blitzcrank could be actually pretty good.
Ooh, Senna! Galio!
Okay, all right, that's different. Ooh, okay, so
What a 5v5.
yeah, they're just mid-game 5v5 spiking. I wonder how much farm Ole is going to take is actually my big question, because Phoenix was one of the 80 carry Sennas, but basically soul drop for full farm 80 carry Senna is way, way down because you don't get souls off of cannons anymore. But that's why we had the Ornn Senna lane, is because the Ornn took farm. Yeah, this swap is a thing. Like, this could actually be a support Senna and a farm Galio.
Cassio last pick though, while we get to the 20-second mark where no swaps can come through. We saw the Azir ban for Dignitas. That's one of the ways that a Blazolver can contribute so much damage on this team, but Cassio fitting the bill there as well. And we have,
yeah, it's not Leon MF.
It's not. It's actually very different from that lane.
Well, at least it's like the Galio can kind of turret dive. Yeah, so Phoenix will be on Senna. He's been good on Senna. But how much farm will he take? That's the question.
I don't know. Will we see double support items? Is that even a thing you can do with this kind of lane?
I think you can. I don't know if it's good in pro. It's better in like middling solo queue where people don't CS great anyway, because then the CS penalty isn't as punishing. But like Phoenix is a guy who gets every CS, so he'd hit penalties so much harder.
Very curious. It's funny, I really enjoyed the more aggressive comps with Senna. So anytime you can have a diver and Senna can ult behind them, feels really strong. Which is also coincidentally the exact role Galio used to play when you would draft him on team. So now they have both of them.
Yeah.
They don't have an obvious diver. Maybe I guess Sejuani and Aatrox can fulfill that function here.
Yeah. And yeah, it'll probably be Sejuani that the Galio goes in on.
It's not quite the same as like a Jarvan or a Camille, you know, that kind of.
It doesn't lock down as much.
No, but certainly lots of explosive potential here in that mid game, as you mentioned, for the Dig side. So very curious to see this one shake out. And Jat, I have excellent news for you.
I'm happy. Phoenix has the Spectral Sickle, the support item, and Galio has a Doran's Ring, which means Galio will be getting the lion's share of CS. Now, I've done a lot of theory crafting on Senna.
Yes, you have.
I think Phoenix should still take a lot of CS. I don't think you should give all the CS to Galio. You should get enough CS to get your items and then give over the rest to the other guys so you still get a lot of souls.
Right.
That's the theory.
So is this, it's not going to be exactly the same, but is this kind of akin to when we did actually have double support items? Think of like Sono TK, where they had to kind of figure out a way to trade off the CS?
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. I think since cannons that Senna doesn't kill are an auto drop, Phoenix should not last hit cannons, but he should be last hitting the melee minions. Like if he just last hits 3 melee minions per wave and gives the rest of the CS to Ole, that's, or even like 2 melee minions per wave, because you run into CS penalty at about 3 CS per minute with the support items.
Which is not a lot.
Which is really not that much CS.
But you can play around it.
But you still want to be able to get your items to then be a better scaler with your souls. So it's cool. Like,
it's really cool.
It's just different. And like I said last game, I like stuff that's different.
So certainly unafraid of at least mixing things up in the 2v2. We'll be paying close attention to the farm in particular. In fact, Ole already picking up 4. So certainly what you expected is happening in the early stages.
I think Phoenix should have gotten a couple of them. He should actually be CSing relatively freely early on until he hits penalties. So it looks like they're actually doing like, no, Phoenix, you're the support, Ole, you're the carry. We'll see though. He's just harassing and soul farming right now. Yeah, they're not doing much of the crap.
Okay.
That's fine.
I mean, it is like, you have to really dig into how these interactions and items work.
I don't expect it to be like, yep, this is exactly the way we want to do it.
Yes, it's very intuitive to take 2 CS a minute, give the rest to your support, who's now the farmer, Canadian.
Also, I think when they're pushed into turret, this is kind of cheesy, so I'm not sure if this is good in pro, but if you're blue side like this, Phoenix should actually zip back, because you can get about 4 souls off the Krugs.
Oh.
So many individual things die, and it's a 25% drop rate on everything, that you end up getting a lot of souls. And it's worth it, because like every soul is an AD, and every 20 souls you get a range upgrade. So it's worth losing a little bit of experience from lane.
Senna's passive is long too, so I understand if someone hasn't read the full thing. Certainly, I know you have.
I actually haven't even read the whole thing, I feel like. I just learned how it works through playing 30 games of Senna.
But all jokes aside, the whole point is that these interactions are very minute. But I still think the concept of this lane is really cool, even if they're not 110% efficiency.
Yeah.
And Phoenix is obviously really good on this champion, regardless of whether or not he's getting farmed.
Yeah, and he has 9 souls already. So he's harassing a lot. Like, he's soul farming off of harass, which is something you can't do as an AD carry as much because you're so worried about CS. And because he's not last hitting everything, the soul drop chance is 25% per minute he doesn't last hit, and 100% on cannons he doesn't last hit. So he's going to have really long range really quickly. You just won't have that extra oomph from having bigger items.
All right, well, let's check in with the top side, I suppose. It is even in the mid lane for now.
I don't know, just bot lane the whole game.
I mean, I'm kind of down. Well, with a slight lead, have to do the formalities. And hard with the lead in farm right now. That's it. That's all we need to check in with. Back to bot lane.
Let's watch the souls. Oh, okay, cool. He took a CS. I'm happy. That's one Ole wouldn't have been able to get. Okay, he's CSing a little bit now. This is good.
There's the soul. Ole in there. Ooh, snap taunt. Some damage onto Huhi. Gorica trying to fire back with the pistol.
Yeah, Ole should get the cannon. Nice. Soul drop. Satisfying.
It is like a fun little mini game.
It is. I have a hard time using the true damage Senna skin because I have a harder time seeing the souls, but Phoenix seems totally fine with it.
See, it's funny because at least watching Senna, much prefer this skin because of how much more colorful her particles are. So it's like really obvious when she roots someone especially.
True, true.
But the thematic of the original skin is wonderful as well. So excellent job all around on Senna. As Phoenix is off to roam. I mean, again, he's the support in this lane.
Yeah.
So he's going to go ahead and ward the Ocean Drake, which is the first one here, but no one's leaping at the chance to take it just yet. It is very early into this game still.
Yeah, one funny thing is because of how aggressively Phoenix is trying to trade, Huhi's also getting really efficient procs of his support item. So like Spell Thieves and Spectral Sickle have both generated like 300 gold, so these guys are going to get their Sightstones pretty quick. All right, thank you observers for watching the bot lane so much. If other people care about the rest of the map, we should go there too.
We'll check back in. 6 now for Blaze Olive in mid lane. Is Conqueror there on the Casio. Hard, they're going to be caught out. Little too far forward. No stun though. There is a range on that, I believe. So
yeah,
Hard get out of there.
It's way lower than it used to be. It's like 600 now, and the duration isn't as long, so I think he actually just outranged it.
I feel like once upon a time it could snipe you from base, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Hard will get out and not give first spot away. And I think this is something that's important to note about Dignitas games. Like, there have been, actually, in general, their average game time has been quite low. I don't know if it is, but I would assume that it is they have the best average game time in Academy.
Yeah.
But they don't always play fast early games. They're capable of scaling up, and this is more of that game in this go-round.
For sure. I mean, Demonte's 6 now, Lorlo's 6 now. Now you can start going for river control because ain't no way you want to fight a level 6 Rumble in river. And that's why Kaden got that Scuttle Crab. But like, you don't immediately need to turn to Ocean Drake. Like, he can get a Cinder Hulk, he can keep farming. It's okay to wait until Senna has first item and a bunch of souls before you do stuff.
Yeah. Also, 2 globals, or at least a global and a semi-global in the bot lane for Dig. So also important to keep track of when Phoenix and Ole ding to 6 as well, but they shouldn't be too far behind. And Demonte is pushing the lane in, harassing with Harpoon as best he can. Blaze Olive is doing a nice job farming, but again, Rumble doesn't really have much interest in 1v1 killing you anyway. He just wants to leave the lane and then go affect somewhere else. And
push. But because the whole reason he can push is because he has kill threat.
Yes.
Right? So if a Blaze Olive does something silly, that happens, right? Like, he could have just let the wave crash, but instead he lost half his health.
Yeah. What's the challenge instead is keeping the farm nice and close. Silence button not doing the same in top lane, actually. Lolo has a pretty healthy lead, although that will shrink as Zion's button gets probably all of these. But that is enough space for Dignitas here. They won the battle of attrition in bot lane, and they will claim the Ocean Drake as a result.
And you know what the Ocean Drake drops?
Soul. Ooh!
Yeah. Phoenix is now up to 23. That's way more than he'd have on 80 carry Senna. But they are actually a little bit behind in farm. So you can see, like, Ole hasn't been able to reach a lot of CSs to be expected from a melee champion. So I think they still need to work out a little bit more how to play that lane. Basically, any CS Ole can't reach, Phoenix should try and take, and they shouldn't be dropping what they're dropping. But that's what it's for. Just practice, get better.
Yep. If you want to, again, do what we used to do with the support item lanes, it's basically 60 to 70, so Gorka having a pretty healthy CS lead.
Yeah.
And Dignitas' bottom lane. Also, Blaze Olive is being forced away from waves. I am partially surprised Demonte didn't ulti there, but he's already forcing the Cassio off, so probably not necessary.
Yeah. Probably wants the ult for a Rift Herald fight.
Yeah.
You can see they've already swapped mid to get Rift control, and they're trying to swap with as much tempo as possible, like what they're doing here. Like, oh man, they're just so far ahead of the play. So obviously they're doing Rift here, but if you look at the minimap, like, Demonte's already down here on Rumble, so they won't even be able to get plates. And Ornn hasn't pushed past. A Blaze Olive was forced to recall. Like, that's why Demonte didn't ult. Oh, 2 more souls for Phoenix, the dream.
Oh, so now it's even better when you swap for the Herald.
Yeah,
because
2 more souls.
Get to zoom in and get some souls. Where are we up to?
Yeah.
30 yet?
Demonte...
26?
Demonte had to burn his flash, so Hard wants to go all in on him here. Demonte wants to creep up to ult the wave to prevent plates from dropping, but he's getting pushed off.
Doesn't want to die.
Max range ult, just get it. Sneak in there. Yeah, he doesn't want to die. Oh, but they're swapping against Aphelios with white gun. That's the worst. That's a Herald right there. That's a Herald with the plates.
All right, well, they're going to keep going.
Because Demonte couldn't get his ult out.
Sneaking in now. Maybe just in time.
Well, now he doesn't have to ult. But okay.
I mean, he doesn't. Actually, there is a ward.
He doesn't completely know.
Certainly better to be safe rather than sorry in that instance.
Usually.
First
yeah.
blood's still on the table. Demonte's died enough. He's the death leader for Dignitas, Jet. He's not trying to.
Yeah.
He's not trying to make that number any bigger. Wait till his friend Acadian catches up.
So, I don't know why I'm thinking this right now, but better to be safe than sorry. Is it? Like,
In League of Legends?
if the outcome is you are sorry, yes, it would have been better to be safe. But if being safe makes you sorry, then it would have been better to not be
It's a
safe.
free loss. You just can't win.
Like, you can flip it. You can say it's better to not be safe than sorry.
Yes.
Because now, because he was safe, he doesn't have his ultimate.
And his tower's still getting whacked by this Cassio.
Yeah.
I mean, risk management is, and assessment is like a really important skill in life, but in
Yeah.
League of Legends also.
Yes.
And there is a possibility Demonte could have gambled and been a bit more aggressive. Was perhaps worried about the consequences if hard committed to that tower dive. Speaking of, in we go. Yumi ulti, and it is tough with the J4. You gotta find the right angle on that book opening.
Yeah. They're hoping to just get Ornn Yumi scaling, right? And it's kind of on Dignitas to find the mid-game team fights. Otherwise, the Aphelios could actually be really devastating.
Oh, Liz out of there.
So Phoenix is CSing, so they're doing it. They're doing what I want.
Let's swap.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't swap, but like he's getting enough CS and he's pushing penalties.
Got it. Dunk there from Hard. Flash out of
There it
Acadian.
is.
Rumble ulti
Ow!
out. Decent sedge ult, but a good stopwatch from Hard maybe saves him. W's gonna latch roots too, but no follow-up there for Dig. They burnt all the cooldowns just to get some summoners.
Yeah, the Sedge ult couldn't quite get this done because of the stopwatch there from Jarvan, so no kills converted yet. You know what the latest First Blood in Academy is?
I do not.
Okay.
That is something
I
we
don't-
could perhaps
I don't
find
know.
out.
Yeah. We have a chance to do that.
Certainly do. Also, don't forget that up next, CLG Academy versus TL Academy. Eerily similar to the LCS
Pick up the soul.
predicament from yesterday.
It's worth inting for.
It is.
Soul.
Agreed.
Oh,
That is
God.
definitely an instance where it is much better to be sorry than safe. But to complete your point earlier, you now like that Phoenix is basically just taking the farm penalty while still getting CS. Is that correct?
No, so it's like you get enough free CS before penalty kicks in, so you should push that limit.
Got it.
Like, you actually get full value for CS up until the point where the support item says, like, yeah, basically, you're allowed a certain amount of CS before it starts decreasing the value of the CS.
Got it.
So Phoenix should take CS up until that point, then allow Ole to get the rest.
Got it. So you like that he's picked up more.
Yeah, I really like that he has 37 CS because he can build towards mana.
First blood still. Off the table, Gorica flashing out. It's been a long battle.
Yeah, Demonte doesn't have ult yet, so they can't quite do this.
Very close.
They draw Herald mid.
Got it now.
Zion's just gonna, oh man, this is not a good, that was not a good objective trade by Dig. Does the undefeated season end here?
Maybe. GG certainly feeling pretty comfortable.
Yeah, they got nothing out of that Herald. That was definitely a lost Herald trade because they lost 3 plates bought for the swap and then got no plates for the Herald take.
Yeah. Again, the Herald value is in the damage it does to the towers, especially the first one that hits the plates. When you don't hit plates, it's a bad time. As Dig starting to group up a little bit more aggressively. You can almost feel like they know how late this first blood has been. Almost 14 minutes through.
Yeah, it's also in Golden Guardian's best interest to just not fight.
Absolutely.
So, again, kind of why I thought Leon MF would be a more push the temple bot lane. Like, if you let Aphelios Yuumi scale, as much fun as I've been having watching Senna Souls, I don't know if it's good for them. Senna scales pretty well, like especially this soul/farm Senna.
Yeah.
Because there's so much value in souls, and then if you're also able to have like decent items, I really still strongly believe it's the best version of Senna. So it's cool that I'm actually seeing it, which is why I've talked about it so much. But Aphelios Yuumi is probably just better.
Yeah.
So,
certainly in the like camp.
Yeah.
Just to see how many items Phoenix can complete as well is building kind of what you'd expect. Has a bit of early lethality. It looks like Manamune is going to be the next one with the Tear and the pickaxe. Gorica is now swapped into mid. He's decided that there's plenty of farm for him to take here. As Demonte also finishes his first item alongside the Cassio, so Leandri is now done for the Rumble. Blaze Olive cannot really hold 2v1 though. He's going to have to call hard up here with Yuumi to try and get them away.
Rift Herald number 2.
Ooh.
I mean, Hard might think about fighting this. Because they could drop this top and break first turret guaranteed.
Loa has TP, Zion does not.
Yeah,
But Zion's walking up, he's got ulti.
they're going to think about it. I don't think Golden Guardian should do this, but they're definitely thinking about it.
Maybe just a steal. Ooh, ulti there on the set. Great equalizer there from Demonte. So the ult out, final chapter, kicking away. There's the center ulti, almost picks up hard. But doesn't get it. Still, no deaths, just the Rift Herald over to Dignitas.
Yeah, Fuhi burned his heal. We got multiple ults out of Dig, but yeah, I think Golden Guardian's lucky they didn't die there. They definitely were overmatched in the river against Sejuani Rumble. As you mentioned earlier, like Galio has nowhere to ult. Like no one is diving in, they just can't reach it, so. Maybe they wanted to do Senna Ornn, but Ornn was banned, or Ornn was taken away, and they're like, you know,
maybe Galio.
Galio.
Basically the same thing.
Kind of what it feels like.
As another reminder, Monday Night League still coming up. 5 p.m. pre-show starts, 5:30 first game begins.
Yeah, first game, FlyQuest Hunter Thieves. Second game, C9 DG. See if FlyQuest can close out their 2-0 week. Had that win over TSM yesterday.
Full amp more twos, etc. Power of Evil, can he continue smacking people around?
Yeah. Maybe we'll see Power of Evil's Rumble. Like we see
I don't think so. Getting Rumble seems like a tough one.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, Demonte has not had a monumental impact. He certainly had impact this game, but Blaze Olive, if the Golden Guardians' plan is to own Yuumi, Cassio their way, and Aphelios, and to scale their way up into this game, that plan is working, if that is their plan.
Super. Like, Zion Spartan is going to hit 13 soon. Doesn't have items to upgrade yet. I really hope this isn't one of those sad boy Ornn games where no one builds items.
Okay, it's 2,000 gold.
Upgrade. He'll obviously build his own items, which will auto upgrade, but like, is Blaze Olive gonna build an early zone user death cap?
At second, do it. You got a Yuumi.
I mean, yeah. Yuumi can just build a hat.
Ooh.
Upgrade that.
That
That
like
could be pretty sweet.
Redemption is maybe more powerful.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you can upgrade the redemption.
Yeah.
We'll see if we get here. Upgrading the redemption or the locket also refreshes the item active cooldown. So you can
Really?
redemption, upgrade redemption, and then redemption.
Oh, because they're separate items.
Yeah.
That's cool. I feel like that comes up almost never, but
Yeah.
I do want to see it now that you've told me that. Oh, in there. He's trying to start it off.
A lot of
This fight's
damage.
not going well. Plus, finally, 18 minutes in. And it's the Yumi that picks it up, but Lolo trying to wreak havoc. There's the Galio ulti out. Zion does find the knockup. Oli is dead. Moonlight Vigil missed for Gorica. But the first team fight does not go in favor of Dignitas. Damonte gonna fall as well. Into stasis, buying time, but not gonna save his life. Oh boy.
Golden Guardians can win this one, Phase 3. We could be witnessing Dig's first loss. Just watching the way that fight panned out, a Blaze Olive just shredded through Dignitas. And you can see Ole still struggling to find ultimate. Builds a really late Relic Shield. I guess he's at the point in the game where actually he got smart, but we're going to continue to go in on this. Okay, figure out how they get the initiation. It's Ole who tries to start it, but it's actually Acadian who just gets completely wrecked. He doesn't even get his ultimate off because he walked face first into a Blaze Olive stun. That's probably where Dig thought they were going to be able to win that fight. Gorka doesn't even land his ult. They were going to use that to chase down maybe another kill on Orlo. But yeah, still had the gravity gun for the rear on Damonte and pick up yet another kill.
Yep. Lolo late to the fight. GG to see the opportunity. Easy team fight. The Golden Guardians to win. Again, the reason a Blaze Olive's damage share is so high on this team, had free reign in that team fight, and looked about as straightforward as you'd expect from that point. The mid-game team fight that's been talking up for Dignitas. Looking like it might have trouble outracing the cat clock this game.
Yeah, because they didn't fight until 18 minutes. Until we're basically approaching late game. Athene's being completed is huge for Huhi.
Zion also comes to his cape.
They also don't have anything to shred Orange. One of the reasons Senna fell in priority, beyond the nerves, was that Ornn raised in priority, and Senna's not a good tank shred. And Dignitas didn't put tank shred on their team. They're not doing Senna Cassiopeia or Senna carry jungler. They're doing Senna Sejuani Rumble. I kind of think that Zion Spartan is just gonna live forever.
Well, at least the good news is that it's Mountain Soul, not Ocean Soul. In fact, Ocean was the first Drake.
Yep.
So there was no way it was going to be that one. But yeah, again, trying to beat out the scaling here when it's tough for you to pierce through the healing, let alone the tanks.
Yeah.
Very curious. Also, it might be a sad boy on game. I think Infinity Edge is coming up quick for Gorka, so
yeah,
that'll be the first one. But Blaze Olive is stopped by Banshee's Veil Street.
And Hard isn't going for Black Cleaver either. Come on, guys.
What other on item could Hard even realistically build?
I just walk it.
Oh, okay, that's
Ish.
just you can't upgrade Stoneplate.
Yeah.
There's
She's probably just going Stoneplate second because of the tankiness, but yeah, it should just be Cleaver, I think.
Yeah. We'll see. I imagine maybe third. A reasonable timing, but again, Zion Spartan will be.
Yeah. This is it's really easy for us as casters or as viewers. I feel like we've become accustomed to seeing these Orns and be like, they're not even building Ornn upgradable items. What are they doing? There's just so many things the players think about, and it's really easy for us to latch onto.
Yeah.
So yes, they should definitely build these things, but a Blaze Olive thinks, yo dude, I need a Banshee's Veil, otherwise Sedge will kill me. Literally, sure, hat would be nice, but it's not nice if I'm dead.
Yeah.
So you do want to have a plan. I think Cleaver is the one I'm willing to latch onto and say oh yeah, Huhi should actually be going for Redemption second in this game just to give Ornn something. But yeah, Raz. And next time you pick Ornn, be like, don't forget your Ornn items as you walk off stage.
We talk about how different you have to play when you're doing this with Senna, right?
Oh yeah.
There is some considerations of yeah, you have to be willing to at least think differently about how you build when Ornn is in the game, because
Yeah.
the value, because so much of that champion's passive value is tied to him upgrading your items. There, anyway, Dignitas going to take a tower, so game's starting to open up a little bit more. It's gotten, we had that one team fight that went in a landslide for Golden Guardians Academy. They're up almost 2,000 gold, but Dignitas still fighting. Going to line up for this next Drake in 50 seconds.
And they don't want to go against Soul Point with the scaling Ornn. It's kind of the moment for them to fight, but they don't have upgraded Manamune on Phoenix yet because he actually delayed it by going early serrated Dirk. It's going to be tough. I feel like Golden Guardians is pretty favored in this fight. The level 14 Ornn.
Again, I think the gold lead in this game does lie to you quite a lot, given the state of the comps.
Right, Cassio, Yuumi, Ornn, scaling Felio.
Ooh, what a great engage though. Hard dunking in there with the Cataclysm up on top of the final chapter. No kills, sadly, but do get some sums, and that should be enough space to take this Drake.
Yeah, I mean, Demonte's still pushing out top, but like Lorlo's on a recall pattern. Has teleport as well. They got a flank or do something.
Oh, Blaze Olive looking for the Sedge. Ulti is good though, but Blaze Olive able to walk out of there.
Yeah, and they got double cleanse for the Sedge ult. Like, Golden Guardians is happy right now.
Yeah, Demonte ready with the ulti.
Lolo
looking for the flank. No steal. Over to Goroko it goes. Lolo going to be jumped on. Here's the Galio ulti. Could be a big one. Does get the knock up, but only on the front line. Moonlight Vigil smashing Lolo. It's actually the Ornn Horn that takes the kill. The Blaze Olive able to take down Ole as well. And Golden Guardians just cannot be killed.
They are looking so comfy right now. One away from Soul Point. That can happen in 29 minutes. Just killed 3, so they can go straight to Baron pastry time. We might be seeing the upset.
And we talked about, again, the tank tread. Blaze Olive just face-checking the jungler there with the Banshees, with the cleanse. Just forces the Acadian out. That forces Big to start a fight they didn't really want to. Golden Guardians capitalize well. They'll take the Baron here as well. Acadian's not even going to go anywhere near the pit. Yeah,
these are definitely the games where you can hop into the post-game thread and be like, well, they just had the scaling. Like, you'll end up saying GG in draft because there are a lot of advantages that we're seeing now, right? Like, once they've scaled up, they got double cleanse on their carries. There's not reliable initiation for Dignitas. There's more DPS for Golden Guardians. They have a better front line that can't be shredded through by Dig. I mean, to see this fight, they technically get a flank with a Senna ult, but like, what are they really gonna do? They can't lock people into a Rumble ultimate. They can't shred through Ornn with Senna. And this is all at 8 minutes or 25 minutes. There were opportunities like at Rumble 6 to dive bot them, to really put Aphelios Yuumi behind, to get ahead of Ornn and start split pushing and use the Herald properly. But because Dig missed all these opportunities, now it looks pretty hopeless.
Yeah, this looks like a tough one to crawl out of. As the Blaze Olive will get rooted. Golden Guardians with the Baron buff knocking down the mid outer. Demonte ready with the ulti. Is in position to flash in.
Yeah, he just died. Like, Gorka and a Blaze Oliver so bad.
Ooh, that button started one. His ulti's back and ready as well. So he's in there. He's got cleanse as well. No flash needed. Just face tanking. In goes hard. Oh, what a great final chapter into the bowling ball. And the big Ram's going to take down Demonte.
Oh boy. Demonte down, Baron up. Zion Spartan, click on your Aphelios. Give him that IE. Click on him.
No time. We got to siege the towers.
Yeah, I think you gotta be out of combat to upgrade an ally's item. So they want to keep this push going.
That would make the double locket/redemption thing a lot more powerful.
Ooh,
you didn't have to be, if you could be in combat. You imagine he's like fighting in front, he's like, hold on a second, starts blacksmithing away.
Yeah. Oh, they're just gonna recall.
It's also Mikhail's second, sadly. Which, again, feels very responsible given how much CC Dig do have.
Yeah, it's like in case you didn't have cleanse up, here's another one.
Yep. In case you didn't have cleanse, or he's not going QSS, but he has Banshees. Have to assume he has Legend Tenacity as well on the Cassio.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is like, maybe they're BMing by not upgrading more items. Okay, there we go. He's clicking on him. Finally, there's the IE.
All right, Molten Edge there for Gorika. That's a big boost in power for an Aphelios that's already feeling pretty healthy, but 3 items done for the Cassio as well. And I can understand not wanting to delay that Leandro's too long because it's real good.
Is this the week where all undefeated teams lose? We saw G2, O2. We're seeing Dig lose this one.
Cloud9.
Cloud9's on tonight during Monday Night League.
Oh, it's true. They do play it.
Yeah, it's possible.
It is possible.
Going undefeated is hard.
Yeah. Tell me.
Oh, look at all those souls.
Get him, Phoenix.
Please.
We explained earlier. It's
I need to scale.
All right, scaling.
70
yeah.
souls.
72?
Yeah.
That's so many.
I mean, yeah, because he's a support. If he would have been doing the Krug cheese, he'd have 100.
Ooh.
But he'd be lower level and they'd still.
Let me tell you, if they didn't know about it before, they're going to know about it now. Flank attack from Acadian. Sent ulti out, but Golden Guardians did not take very much damage. Zion Spartan is in the lowest condition, and that's the tank.
Yeah. They do have a little bit of healing reduction to try and deal with Yumi. One execution is calling, but like that only applies for 3 seconds on autos, so it's very easy for Huhi to hop around and give full value deals. Like, look at this, they're all full health again.
Zion even going back. He's going to TP in to make sure they can break this mid tower nice and easily. And Dig with using all their cooldowns and getting some Yumi E cooldown. Not able to really defend, so mid inhibitor will fall. Back to the Soul Drake we go. It's up in 10 seconds. Beautifully timed by Golden Guardians.
And if it was hard to kill Ornn before Mountain Soul, it will be harder to kill him after Mountain Soul. That's where I'm going with that one.
I understand that it's not exactly the same, but I feel like the principle of Yumi Olaf can be somewhat applied to Yumi Cassio.
Yeah, for sure.
Break down. Yeah, Dig just can't even make it in the area. Oh, those 2 souls. Goodbye.
Yeah, tragic. Yeah, Mountain Soul, Golden Guardians, 29 minutes in. They don't have Baron, but they have 2 inhibs down, so they can actually just group top, try and push down that 3rd inhibitor.
Sounds like a plan. Only 7 kills as well.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, Golden Guardians have needed, what, like 1.5 team fights to win this game, it feels like?
Because I think they knew that they had a massive scaling advantage. So they say, if this game's 0-0 and Demonte's just gonna not, like if they're not gonna set up a dive bottom lane, we're just gonna keep trading farm. And that's kind of what happened for a large portion of this game before that mid fight, where Blaze Olive kind of just wrecked the kitty.
Now, Golden Guardians doing exactly what you prescribed. Off the top lane we go. Not much left, really, to take away from Dignitas. These last few towers are certainly that. Tier 2 in top lane will be sacrificed. No need to challenge for this one, but do they challenge after? Ole is looking for some sort of flank. He does spot a wall, but already GG going in. What a great 90-degree angle there on the Yumi ulti, and in the front side, Demonte is dead. Ole, no damage reduction anymore on the ulti, so can't save his teammates. And Golden Guardians still looking pretty undamaged. They'll charge straight in.
They don't take damage anymore, actually. Just the damage no longer applies.
Nice knock up there from Zion. Center ulti out. Cassio ulti was used, and it's just attrition at this point. Diving under the tower we go.
What's
Golden Guardians, and I don't know, because Yumi healing just pops the Cassio back to almost 100% from half.
Mountain Drake plus Yumi right now against a low damage team. Oh man, yeah, they're gonna push.
So it wasn't the Ocean Soul, but it's good enough. Oh goodness. All of us dead if everybody thought wanted to kill.
Yumi is your Ocean Soul right now, and the Mountain Soul is just icing on the cake.
And, delicious cake it is. A Blaze Olive on a killing spree. 3-0-4. It's actually been a pretty good-looking game across the board. Almost, not quite a perfect, but almost a flawless from Golden Guardians.
Yeah.
As they'll finally hand Dignitas their first defeat of Academy.
There it is. Upset week has been week 4 so far, and Golden Guardians have got to feel good about that Academy victory. The early pick Yumi, good game plan. Zion Spartan reliable on Ornn. You can't really point out a player who underperformed in this game for Golden Guardians Academy, and they had the right game plan and a good draft. So thumbs up all around.
Yeah, I feel like at some point, you know, it is very difficult to go undefeated. We cannot understate that.
Yeah.
And I feel like often what happens is at some point they're like, well, we have so much room in the standings given how far ahead we are. Let's just try something. And this draft in some ways kind of feels like they're trying something.
Yeah, I really feel like it fell apart for Golden Guardians when they did the Senna Galio.
Yeah.
Senna Galio to me can work, but not if you need to be the DPS of the team. Like if you need your sustained damage to come from bot lane, you can't do one of these farm share Senna lanes.
Yep.
And especially when the other team had already shown Yumi Dig needed to just go with something that can die. And Senegalio is not that.
Nope.
And I think they paid the price.
Certainly did. It is a victory. Golden Guardians Academy here. So finally take down Dignitas. Dignitas still, again, very good.
Yeah,
but
they're still in first. So it's fine.
It is fine. But the draft, we kind of talked about it a lot throughout the game. Definitely cool to see what Dignitas did, but Golden Guardians took a very stable draft and just knew exactly what to do with it.
Yeah, we've had exciting drafts today, and I like the variety. I'm still learning more about how Yuumi is pushed and tested, confirming a lot of things, like amazing after level 9, weak before then. So if you're seeing it get to that point, you're going to be in trouble. You can see if the other team's going to have a passive bottom lane. Yuumi's a spectacular pick. But like looking at the bans this game, like Syndra, Elise, Set, Lucian, Soraka, Olaf, like those are all powerful picks too. It's just those are more solved. So that's why Yuumi's getting through at this point in the draft phase on 10-3. And it's fun to watch Academy kind of like figure this stuff out.
Yeah, again, and also just when paired with these healers just feels so good. But we'll take a look at the first blood. It was late into this game, 18 minutes in.
Yeah, and the big thing to watch here is Acadian and Blaze Olive. Acadian is looking for like a QR to get an initiation kind of onto Gorka that can be layered with the Rumble ultimate, but he gets rooted into a miasma, into a stun, into dying. So he never gets to get that stuff off, and then Ole's kind of sitting around waiting to get a good Galio ultimate off. All the while, you have two really high damage champions into Cassio Aphelios, who's empowered by that Yuumi to just kind of destroy the fight.
Yeah, First Blood quickly became second and third blood there for the Golden Guardians Academy. Again, the First Blood was a team fight, not a gank, which is usually what you'd expect.
True, and that's where the game was kind of confirmed to me.
Yeah.
And we could see from the people watching as well, but they still had to execute after that. They had done so much good up until that point, just kind of farming it out because that's what they needed to do.
Yep, but the team fight and the second one they got basically ended the game. We'll have a look at the 3-kill fight around the Drake, and once again, a Blaze Olive with this thing.
Oh man, like mid laners plus Yuumi is good. Like that's the extra power of Yuumi. It's not a good laning champion, but it's so good once you're grouped like this because the Blaze Olive just does so much healing and damage there. And then like you can see the initiation, but with no hard CC, all the Golden Guardians can just kind of kite out from the rest of this fight. And then Silent Spartan, just unstoppable.
Zooming in there. I mean, that was a really well-executed team fight by Golden Guardians. Like, there's one exit because Dig did the right thing. They tried to find, like, the triple pincer, basically, and then Golden Guardians just fended it off perfectly.
Yeah, good game. I mean, okay, so.
All right.
G2 0-2.
Yes.
Cloud9 1-0.
Yes.
Dig Academy 1-1. Is C9 going to be the undefeated team across Academy, LCS, and LEC? That'll be told, what, like 3 or 4 hours from now at the end of Monday Night League?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too far away. We've got one more Academy match though coming up, chat. CLGA take on TLA right after this.
Surefire's back.
He is. He's back. He's trying to start it off. This fight's not going well. First blood finally, 18 minutes in. And it's the Yuumi that picks it up. And Lolo trying to wreak havoc there. Segalio ulti out. Zion does find the knockup. Ole is dead. Does get the knockup, but only on the front line. Moonlight Vigil smashing Lolo. It's actually the Orn Horn that takes the kill. The Blaze Olive able to take down Ole as well.
Nah, good shot.
Yo, kill this guy, kill this guy, kill this guy. They lost at the draft, you know, like.
Yeah, they actually completely lost in the draft, guys.
Yeah.
It's actually
Nice,
humongous
you
draft
boys.
cap.
Stop.
Good stress.